Hi everyone, I'm Camilo Torres, and welcome again to Flow Community Podcast. In here, we're going to have amazing conversation with the beautiful people that has joined our community. We're going to get a lot of inspiration from their life journeys, from their creations, from their passions and their dreams, because we believe that when you share your unique life journey or your unique story, you can be an inspiration to others. So please enjoy this new episode. And also, I would love to welcome you to join our community to get more inspiration. So please go to our website, flowwithcommunity.com, for more information. Thank you. Okay, so please let me introduce you to Paula Bosco.
Hello.
The amazing writer of the Flow blog post, Art in Harmony with Nature. Hi, Paula.
Hi, Camilo. Thank
How
you
are
for
you?
having me. I'm very good, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you so much
with
as
you
well.
and the community. No, thank you. I'm so excited to do this.
Nice. And yeah, thank you. It's amazing to have you, and thank you for your amazing blog post that you write. About that, your post says a lot about you.
Mm-hmm.
Also says a lot about your creative expression, that it's a connection with nature and also spirituality.
Yes.
So let's talk first about you, and then
Yeah.
we continue.
So I'm Paula. I'm a textile artist. I'm Argentinian, originally from Argentina. I've been in London for 6 years now. And my entire practice is focused on creating art using natural materials. So I work with natural dyes, natural pigments from plants or from the land. And I apply those pigments and those colors using traditional techniques, like hand stitching, embroidery, weaving, screen printing, and hand painting, yes, as well. The main goal of my practice is to show people and create more consciousness around the nature around us, and to teach people that it is possible to create beautiful things without harming the environment, with using things that we have around us in a respectful way. And how that links to spirituality, I think it's mainly because when we are connected with ourselves, we are able to connect with nature. We are part of nature. We are not separate from it. And the more we engage with nature, the more we value it. And as we all know, the world is in a crazy moment right now, and nature has been so disrespected by people, by the industrial era. So I think there's an urge for everybody to come back to, not only creating, but living in a more mindful way. This society pushes us all the time to consume, to be hyper alert, hyperactive, mega productive, which is good. But I feel like that also makes us get lost from ourselves, and losing that connection is just detrimental to us, but also to the world we live in. So the main goal with my art is to not only create something beautiful, but send the message to the world. To awaken people.
Nice.
It's a bit
Send the message.
Send the message, but I don't want to sound above anyone or
No,
anything.
I think
I'm no one. I'm just an artist, but I feel like I came here with a purpose, and I found that later on in my life, and I just this is why maybe I'm in this world to create something beautiful, but also help other people to feel more connected with life.
I completely agree. I think I am. I'm with you, and I think when you start knowing yourself, when you start loving yourself, when you start having a lot of self-love, then you start respecting your everything
Life in all
around
forms.
exactly.
Exactly.
And then this is where you start connecting with our planet, with nature, which it's our habitat and it's life, and you start appreciating and respecting everything, and then from that point, it's a nice harmony when you start living that way. From my own experience, I used to be very bad with nature because I didn't love myself as much. I am in a journey of self-love.
We all are.
We all are.
We're all like constantly healing and
Yes, exactly, healing. And then slowly, I'm like getting awake of, hey, okay, I'm now respecting myself.
Yeah.
Then from respecting myself, then I need to respect where I live, the others. And then where I live is the planet. And we need to look after this beautiful planet that it's I live in peace.
to add to what you just said, I think that, well, the ultimate thing or feeling I want people to have when they see my work or when they connect with my work is love and appreciation. And it is so hard to get distracted and to get disconnected. It's like a daily practice. That's why my work is very meditative. I hand stitch, so every stitch, it's very repetitive, but that gets me into this kind of meditative state. Some people may not be able to sit down and meditate like as we all imagine how meditation is. But I think there's something that my practice allow me to, I don't know, it's just like how I get into those states allow me to get back to that connection. And yes, like you said, if you love yourself, of course you want to treat yourself nicely and live in a nice environment and healthy environment. And you will treat other people well. And everything, every little thing, is connected to love.
Yes.
Love to yourself, love to the things. It's just the most essential feeling or emotion. So yeah, it is so important.
Nice. And I want to add that, like what you said, like when you produce your art and when you do your creative expression, you are connected with nature and connected with your spirit, but also you're disconnected of these manic social activities that it's just a machine. And it's very important to disconnect from that and connect with ourselves, with nature and our spirit.
Yeah, it is important to, I would say, making the time in your life, even if it's just like 10 minutes. You don't have to be like a yogi or nothing too special. It's just doing something that lets you be with you and to just feel your presence in this world. And I feel like that brings up a lot of reflections as to why we're here, how we want to contribute in this existence, like why we're here. We have a mission, we have a plan. Maybe some people don't care about it, and it's fine.
Yeah.
Not everybody is ready. I live like in multiple lives, so I'm like, you'll do it in your next life, maybe. So yeah, coming back to my art, the whole process is like, it's very slow as well. And this is something that I want to share when I share my creative process. every single step of the process takes its time. So it's forcing you to pause, to slow down, to respect, not to rush things. And that could apply to anything. So, it could be in your personal life, it could be at work, or any, with relationships. So everything in nature has a cycle, has its time. When you plant a seed, the seed needs to, become then like a sprout, and then it'll have the leaves. But you cannot rush that. Mm-hmm. And it's the same with extracting the color from nature. Everything needs the timing, the temperature, so the colors come out nicely, and then also the way I apply that, well, like I said before, is very meditative. So the whole journey, it's I don't know, it's very profound, because it not also it takes me the time to create something and to allow things to come to life, but also I reflect a lot during that moment. I
guess you're connecting with yourself, and then you reflect with...
Yes, and I think whoever practice mindfulness, they will understand what I'm saying, and cultivating those spaces, even if it's just 5 minutes a day, it helps. Yeah. It helps.
I personally do it every morning. Yes.
It's hard to keep the routine.
It's a routine.
It's one of the challenges.
Yes, it's a routine. I wake up. Now I'm learning to wake up 20 minutes before. I have a meditation. It's on my Spotify. Turn it on, and if I fall asleep and then I wake up after, it's okay. But it's just make me start the day in a different way, and it's wonderful. And I personally recommend to everyone.
Yes, it's recommended to, start a day nicely, gentle, not usually rushing. I mean, I myself do it anyway. I'm not I'm like any other human being, and this is a constant challenge for me, even though, it may seem like, oh, I have this lifestyle very slow. No, I live in this city, which is crazy, and sometimes it's very challenging.
Yes.
So, yeah, it's a constant commitment.
Yes, I agree.
Every day.
I agree.
So, yeah.
Going back to your creative expression and how you create your art, I read on your blog that intuition is very important, which is for me as well. But anyway, I think to work out in the intuition is really hard for some people. But then, yes, please explain us that.
Yes. It's hard to describe intuition in simple terms. But it is very simple. I don't know how to explain. So intuition, for me, in my practice, is letting my heart guide me more than my head.
Yeah. Yes.
So it's kind of mysterious how intuition works, because for some reason you get to know what to do and how to do it. It's just something that comes out naturally. You don't have to think too much. I think that's what intuition means, is not being in your head too much and being more in your heart. And when you're using intuition, you'll feel like something here that it's telling you this is the right thing. And it could be in anything. In my practice,
could be the wrong thing. Could be the
exactly.
What
it could tell you.
take.
I think it's our guidance. We all have it. We can all develop it. But in this crazy kind of world we live in, it's so hard to listen to intuition because we are always rushing, we are always so busy. And also, I think it's a very male dominant being in the mind, because that's the masculine principle. We all have it. We all have masculine energy, feminine energy. So for me, leaning into my intuition, it's embodying my feminine energy a bit more instead of being in the masculine and this energy of like do, get, I don't know, act, think. So yes, it's always trying to find the balance. You know, you need your mind to, plan things or, apply what you learned and all the logic behind it and the process and the temperature that I need to set to extract the colors. But it's a fine balance. It's like a dance.
Correct. I think that's previously I was saying that it's so hard to pay attention to your intuition because we are, it's like, anyway, we are into this male energy mode of to do and think first before doing an action, and then you forget what your heart is telling you.
Yes.
I'm trying to live in harmony with my feminine energy and my masculine energy, which I adore both of them. And I, personally, I'm learning to love and elevate my feminine energy. That's why, for me, way before, it was very hard to get that. And it's so beautiful from you to create your art from your feminine energy, which it's amazing and it's beautiful. And anyway.
My creative process goes along with my personal healing and spiritual journey. That's why I brought up the female and male principle, because that's something that I've learned in my own healing and spiritual journey. Before, I didn't know the difference between one or the other. And so that let me explore things in a different way. And that enriched me so much in my personal life, but also in the creative life, that I don't know, I just feel like it's so difficult to realize what you're doing if you're in autopilot. And that's something that I had to work a lot. It's many challenges that we face in life are coming from our own disconnection of our own autopilot. We don't really stop to, okay, what do I want to do? How do I feel? So yes, I think it's art and spirituality for me are the same thing.
Nice.
Because inspiration comes from this. Where does it come from, It's like all of a sudden you feel something that, I'm talking personally, this is how I feel. When something inspires you or excites you, it's like it just exudes through your pores. And you don't know where this is coming from. And it's almost so magical.
Yes.
Then you get into the details, and then the mind comes in. But I think that's it gives me chills, actually. It's like, I love that.
Yes, yeah.
And that's something that I really enjoy about being an artist. You're in constant inspiration and flow and curiosity, and you're experimenting with things, and it's just like being a kid, having fun all the time.
Agreed. I think when creativity for me, I feel like we're like art. Creativity for me is the way I connect with my spirituality, and I think that when creativity, it's from like anything, like solving a problem, the way you dress, the way you go out, the way you make up, the way you write, everything, the way you post Instagram post, everything is creativity. And then the thing is, the world and says, hey, creativity is only for the creative industries, and no, it's for all of us. And that's like what you said about like when you create, it makes you alive, and it makes you like, here I am, I'm alive.
Yes.
And like that's why flow exists, because I want to boost everybody's creativity, and no matter what you do, it's like cooking is a creation.
Totally.
And making the plate nice, a creation. I'm not a very good cooker, but I have my other ways to boost my creativity.
Yeah.
And yeah, if you find something that makes you feel alive. It's so nice.
Yes. Well, being an artist presents so many challenges, but for me, a big challenge was the creative block that I had before I started taking myself seriously as an artist. I've always been creative. I had a fashion brand for 5 years. And then I kind of wanted to do something more with my hands. But once I realized that, I was like, what do I want to communicate? How I'm going to communicate? And for a long time, I was super blocked. And what you're saying about creativity, that we all have it, that's something that I had to tell myself. We are creators by nature. It's like we all have a talent that we can develop. Even like we don't have to do it professionally, but we all have that because it's the principle of life. And we are that. So first of all, acknowledging that. And then second of all, to overcome that creative block, I remember that I was like, what did I enjoy being a kid? Like being very little, like what was my favorite thing to do, or how I enjoyed myself being a little girl, how I had fun. So I think that exercise made me realize that being creative is being kind of in a child mode where you're having fun, you're playing. And I think many people struggle to connect with creativity because they take it too seriously.
And then they start thinking too much of how to do it, perfection. It needs to be in this technique. I need to follow the instructions. I need to have the right tools. I'm
not saying, of course, I completely agree, and that's something I also struggle with, and I do struggle sometimes, especially when I first got into the art industry, and you see this, I don't know, many people so talented, but also very well trained. Like they went to art school for many years, and their techniques are great. And I'm mainly self-taught, so the things that I've learned making. Although I went for a year to art school. So I think I had to overcome that fear, the imposter syndrome that we all have, and connecting with creativity. It's something that's for everybody. You just have to let it flow and not judge yourself too much and have fun. And then if you want to take it to a professional level, of course, the more you train yourself in a technique or in a skill, or the more you, for an artist, for example, I look at other artists' works. It's so important to learn from other artists' creative processes,
Totally.
their concepts, their visions. It's a constant learning process as well. So, it's very fun to be an artist.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
I think, yes, and we all artists, like what you said. Coming back to what you said in terms of when you create, you are like a child, and I think that's even connected with where we were talking about feminine and masculine energy, because, well, this is my perspective. I wish, because when you're a child, those energies are very in harmony. Even, because you're learning, the masculine energy is learning to do things, but then the feminine energy is creation, don't worry about it. And then, anyway, within the time and our social, how we learn, how we grow up, it's all about the masculine energy, what to do, not stopping, and forget about create. So this is when, personally, I am also in a journey of let my feminine energy flourish, and that's why here we are.
Here we are.
Because
Exploring the feminine, having fun and enjoying ourselves.
Exactly.
And creating beautiful things and inspiring other people.
Right,
Those
yes.
are all feminine values.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, a lot of people, when you talk about this topic, start thinking, hey, it's about gender,
It's
like,
not
or
about
anything. It's not about
gender.
gender. It's not, exactly. So, completely agree with you. It's not about gender. It's, I think we have it in us.
We all do.
And let's because we have lots to talk about.
We can do another podcast about feminine and masculine energy. I'm really passionate about, but that's a universal principle if you think of it. Everything has the yin and the yang.
Yes.
The feminine and masculine is that balance. Is like you cannot really bring things to life that comes from your inspiration, which is a feminine attribute, without having the male structure for it to come to life, without planning. Both are
very important
to have, and when one overtakes the other, that's where the problem starts.
Correct.
When you have too much masculine going on, then you're not having fun enough. You're not enjoying yourself, not being creative, not having these moments of pause and reflect.
How is the feminine energy translate to your art?
That's a good question. Feminine energy is all about creativity and intuition and receptiveness, playfulness, and finding pleasure. So I think that the feminine energy informs a lot my work a lot. I mean, it's mainly me embodying my feminine 100%, or at least 80%. The other 20%, I'm thinking about strategy or what I'm going to do next, or So, feminine energy is the main protagonist of the story.
Of your art.
Yeah, of my art. And also, many people told me my art makes them feel very calm, and it's very soft, and it's very delicate and soothing, and the colors are they're not very vibrant. It's very muted. So I think it is, in essence, a representation of femininity in many ways, also because my techniques were mainly done by women throughout the years and throughout history. Women were sewing, women were mending and embroidering and dyeing the fabric, and it's a female world. Textiles. So yeah, it's actually like honoring the feminine but women.
Okay.
And also Mother Earth.
Nice.
So yes.
Wow. So much to talk with you.
We need to do many more.
But well, let's close now. I'm sure we're going to have you again.
It will be my pleasure.
And where can we check out your work your art?
I have an Instagram account. You can find it with the handle Paula Bosco Studio. On my website, paulaboscostudio.com. And I'm currently represented by a gallery in LA, which is Sage Culture. They work with other artists working with nature, either like the theme of nature or with natural materials, so check them out. And thank you so much, Camilo. I really enjoyed this moment.
Wow, thank you so much.
It was so fun.
I really enjoyed, all the topics, and I'm sure we're going to have you again soon.
Yes.
And thank you so much, guys, for listening, and see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.